So now we're going to talk about Regatta's membranes and coating.
Okay, so on this jacket, the Birchdale, you can't see the membrane because the jacket is lined. So we're going to look at a different jacket now. We'll look at the Imber. So if we unzip this is a 2-layer jacket, which means you've got one layer of the face fabric, the second layer is the membrane, which is this grey area. Now, sometimes in our jackets we use a coating, which is where the Isotex is applied, as it sounds, as a coating on the face fabric. On other occasions we use a membrane, and this is a membrane. The reason we use this membrane, which is bonded on, is because it's got a higher level of stretch to it, and because the jacket's stretched, we need both parts of the jacket to have this high stretch element.
So that's interesting, Matt. So is there different ways of telling membranes apart? Are some membranes better than the other? Is the way of being able to distinguish this?
Well, that's a good question, and that's where we start to talk about hydrostatic head. Now, this sounds really sciencey and complicated, but it's not if we sort of break it down and look at what this means.
Yeah, good, because I think it's complicated. So can you break it down for me, Matt, please?
No problem. So hydrostatic head is basically the measure we use to see how waterproof something is, and the higher the number, put really simply, the more waterproof it is. So if we look at the technology call out on our products, this one here says Isotex stretch 10,000. The 10,000 number is talking about the hydrostatic head, so it has a hydrostatic head of 10,000, and that 10,000 is the height of a water column in millimeters. So 10,000 millimeters also equates to 10 meters if you want to try and
So that's really high for a 10,000 hydrostatic head. That's 10 meters worth of water pressure.
Water pressure, yeah. So if you imagine a column of water that's 10 meters high, the amount of pressure that this jacket can withstand before any beads start coming through is that 10 meters. So that's really waterproof. And typically speaking, in the industry, this is well above anything that people would say is at a waterproof level. All our Isotex products start from 5,000, which is really high and really waterproof.
Oh, so we come in at Regatta's lowest Isotex product comes in at a really high standard.
Exactly. So, obviously, when we test this, we've not got really tall columns that we fill with jugs of water. This is simulated in a lab. So the fabric is clamped in a machine, which then pushes water on it up to a pressure of 10 meters high, and then you can observe when any beads start coming through.
So that's really interesting, Matt. That's covered everything on hydrostatic head that I think that myself and everybody watching needs to know. But you said that Regatta comes in at 5,000 and we have Isotex products at 10,000 and even 15,000 millimeters of hydrostatic head. But why do we need different levels?
Well, 5,000 is a great entry point for hydrostatic head, so it's really waterproof product, and in most cases it's perfect for general outdoor use. But as we've talked about, the higher the hydrostatic head, the more waterproof it's going to be, and this is really important if you're going to be getting really serious with your outdoor pursuits and you're going to be wearing heavy rucksacks, things like that, because the heavy rucksack will be pushing down on your shoulders and exerting pressure.
So you get the pressure from not just the outdoor elements like wind, rainfall, you get the pressure from you walking into your rucksack, putting water weight down through your jacket and the membrane.
Exactly, or leaning on a rock against a tree like that, your body weight is pushing against the fabric. So this is, if it's raining, that's pushing against the water against your jacket, so you need a higher rating. And as you mentioned, currently in the Regatta range we go up to Isotex 15,000.
So 15,000 is a really high standard.
Yeah, really.
So like 5,000 hydrostatic heads, very good for most weather. If you're walking the dog, going light walking in like hills and forests and stuff like that, 5,000 is really good and moderate weather would be fine. If you're going to be trekking in the hills, up in the Lake District, quite high up where the weather can get more severe, or you're being more athletic, for example, where your speed's going to be higher, you're going to want something like 10,000 or more.
Exactly.